Morning students, this is the revision video of history for class 9th, and in this video we will try to understand the two important chapters. First one is French Revolution and second one is Russian Revolution, and both chapters are very important for examination. Now, so far as French Revolution is concerned, in the French Revolution we will have to revise that how the French Revolution happened. What were the reasons? What were the causes for French Revolution? And ultimately how the Napoleon emerged at last in France. So let us start with the French Revolution. French Revolution started in 1789. People came on the street. They ruined down the fort Bastille. And at the time, the Louis XVI, who was the king of the France, he was replaced, he was removed. But what was the real cause? So we are going to discuss the different causes of French Revolution. So here first point is written here that the social structure was the first cause of French Revolution. We have to understand here that social structure was completely differentiated, or it was structured in such a way, society was structured in such a way that all the benefits were going on in the pocket of clergy and nobility. And the third state, which was the third group, it was getting nothing. So basically we have to understand here that social structure, in the social structure, three important groups were there. First one was the clergy group, churchmen. Second was the nobility, I mean king and king's relatives. And third one group was the third state group, or the middle class people were there in the third state. So basically the third state was paying the tax and clergy and nobility was getting the benefits. So because of that social structure, the people of third state, they revolted and ultimately they decided to remove the king. And they found that only one solution is there to replace the monarchy from the France and to establish democracy. And that is why finally, when the meeting was called by Louis XVI, the third state group revolted and finally they assembled somewhere else to demand for new parliament. Now, what was the subsistence crisis? Here one more reason is written here, subsistence crisis. So basically we have to understand that in subsistence crisis, it was a situation that led to the revolution. At that time, population was growing in France and all over Europe, and at the same time, there was a mismatch in food supply and food demand. Demand was more and supply was less. Because of that, people were dying, people were starving, unemployment was also there. So ultimately, the livelihood of the ordinary person were questioned. People were not able to survive there, and that is why they revolted against the king finally. Now after that, as I told you, the third state group that was present at the time, and it revolted against the king regime. Finally, they formed a new assembly. When the third group revolted, they found a new parliament that was termed as National Assembly. But there was some problem in the National Assembly, because in the National Assembly also, only active citizens were allowed to vote. Here passive citizens were not allowed to vote. Passive citizens included women and children and the person below the age of 25 years without any property. So basically rich person were getting a chance in the National Assembly, but at least it was better than monarchy or the Louis XVI regime. This was also not very successful, and finally it was also abandoned, it was also dismissed. Thereafter a period of terror came. It was a period of Robespierre. Before Robespierre, many Jacobin clubs established in France, and finally we discussed about the period of terror. So in the period of terror, it was the period of Robespierre. So Robespierre came to power and finally he created terror among his opponents, and finally also got punishment by the guillotine machine. But in his period, he established many good things which ultimately led to equality in the society. Like he established equality of bread, and he removed the labor system, the bonded labor also. So that was the good points about the Robespierre. After that, Directory came to power. Directory was also a body in which executive was there, legislative was there, but in that body also conflict occurred, and ultimately the conflict gave rise to the Napoleon. And Napoleon came to power finally in 1799, and he started Napoleonic War because he was a very ambitious person. He started war against the neighboring countries and ultimately captured the nearby areas, and thus he expanded the French border up to the Russia. So this is all about the French Revolution. Now, we are going to discuss about the Russian Revolution. So what was going on in the Russian Revolution? So we have to understand that first of all, Tsar Nicholas II was ruling. Tsar Nicholas II was ruling in Russia. And after that, when Tsar Nicholas II was ruling in 1900, around that, in that period, Tsar Nicholas was a very autocratic man. He was, of course, he was a monarch, and in his regime, the situation was not good. The artisans, the peasants were not leading a very good life. Particularly the workers, those who were working in the factories, they were also leading a very bad life. Sometimes in 1905, a revolution took place by the workers because workers are not satisfied and some workers were dismissed by the owners of the factory. So ultimately they led the revolution under the Father Gapon, who was a churchman, and they demanded for their rights. Meanwhile, Duma, that was a parliament, it was demanded by the ordinary people, and finally Duma was established, but Tsar Nicholas was not ready to accept any domination, any suggestion. He finally removed or abolished the Duma. That was a parliament. Now after that again, because of workers, revolution started, and finally the workers and the soldiers, they came together and they formed a group. That was the Duma group. And finally they formed the Soviet group. And finally Soviet group and Duma, they came together and they formed the provisional government. So basically, provisional government was formed, and provisional government started the revolution. And it was termed as the February Revolution, because it took place in the month of February. So February Revolution took place by the provisional government, by the ordinary workers, and finally they formed the provisional government after replacing the Tsar Nicholas II. So I mean to say that the outcome of February Revolution was the abolition of monarchy from the Russia. So provisional government was established in 1918 through the February Revolution. Now after February Revolution, one man came to Russia, and his name was Vladimir Lenin. He was a basically socialist. So he wanted to establish socialism in Russia. So he came, and after that he put forwarded his demands under the April thesis, and under the April thesis he demanded certain points from the provisional government, but provisional government at the time, it became autocratic and it was not ready to give such demands. It was not ready to accept such demands. So ultimately in the October Revolution that took place in 1918, the Vladimir Lenin took help of the Bolshevik group, because he was the leader of Bolshevik group, and finally he led the war. He led the revolution against whom? Against the provisional government. So in the February Revolution, the provisional government came to power by replacing the Tsar Nicholas II. But in the October Revolution, Vladimir Lenin, that is the Bolshevik group, came to power after replacing the provisional government. So you can see here the tenure of provisional government was quite less. Now after that, the Bolshevik government came to power and Vladimir Lenin was the leader. But finally, the people who are not satisfied and different groups were already present there in the society, they started civil war against the Bolshevik government. That was the government of Vladimir Lenin. But ultimately in the civil war, the Vladimir Lenin got victory and he established finally socialism in the entire Russia. So this is how the Russia got socialist government. Now after that, after the death of Vladimir Lenin, Stalin came to power, and Stalin, when he came to power, he established his collectivization theory. He asked all the farmers to give their land to the government so that government can collectivize all the lands together to produce more food grains. So this is how collectivization was started by Stalin, and it created a lot of controversy also and lot of criticism also in the society. So ultimately we found that Stalin was able to establish socialism in the Russia. So what we saw here, that because of Russian Revolution, ultimately socialism was established in Russia. There was a monarchy, so from monarchy to socialism. It was the complete journey that was shown in the Russian Revolution. So this is all about the Russian Revolution and the French Revolution. So I think French Revolution is now clear and Russian Revolution is also very clear to you. Thank you so much for your participation. Thank you so much.